Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, verses 21 to the end. Etam bhukva svargalokam vishalam क्षीणे पुण्ये मर्त्यलोकं विशन्ति एवं त्रयी धर्ममनुप्रपन्नाः गतागतं कामकामा लभन्ते अनन्या चिन्तयन्तो मां ये जना पर्युपासते तेषां नित्याभियुक्तानां योगक्षेमं वहाम्यहम् येऽप्यन्यदेवता भक्ताः यजन्ते श्रद्धयान्विताः तेऽपि मामेव कौन्तेय यजन्त्य विधिपूर्वकम् अहं हि सर्वयज्ञानां भोक्ता च प्रभुरेव च न तु मामभिजानन्ति तत्तेनातश्च्यवन्ति ते यान्ति देवव्रता देवान् पितॄन् यान्ति पितृव्रताः भूतानि यान्ति भूतेज्याः यान्ति मद्याजिनोऽपि माम् पत्रं पुष्पं फलं तोयम् यो मे भक्त्या प्रयच्छति तदहं भक्त्युपहृतम् अश्नामि प्रयतात्मनः यत्करोषि यदश्नासि यज्जुहोषि ददासि यत्तपस्यसि कौन्तेय तत्कुरुष्व मदर्पणम् शुभाशुभफलैरेवम् मोक्ष्यसे कर्मबन्धनैः सन्न्यासयोगयुक्तात्मा विमुक्तो मामुपैष्यसि समोऽहं सर्वभूतेषु न मे द्वेष्योऽस्ति न प्रियः ये भजन्ति तु मां भक्त्या मयि देशेषु चाप्यहम् अपि चेत् सुदुराचारः भजते मामनन्यभाक् साधुरेव समन्तव्यः सम्यक् व्यवसितो हि सः क्षिप्तं भवति धर्मात्मा शश्वच्छान्तिं निगच्छति कौन्तेय प्रतिजानीहि न मे भक्तः प्रणश्यति मां हि पार्थव्यपाश्रित्य पापयोनयः धियो वैश्याः तथा शूद्राः ते यान्ति परां गतिम् किं पुनर्ब्राह्मणाः पुण्याः भक्ता राजश्रयस्तथा अनित्यमसुखं लोकम् इमं प्राप्य भजस्व माम् मन्मनामवभक्तः मद्याजी मां नमस्कुरु मामैवैष्यसि युक्तैवम् आत्मानं मत्परायणः।
सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति। Verse number 30. Vichet suduracharah bhajate mamananyabhav sadhureva cha mantavyah samyak vyavasito hyapsi. Even if a very wicked person worships me with unswerving devotion, he too shall be regarded as righteous indeed, for he has rightly resolved. Even if a very wicked person worships me with unswerving devotion. See, this verse you can read it in two ways. One, you can just read it at a superficial level. Yeah, even if a wicked person worships me, he is also a good person. Highly, autocratic fellow saying that. You can do anything in the world, man. All that you have to do is what? Worship me. That's it. You can do any action, whatever is happening in the world, whatever you do, everything will be removed. But what is interesting here is, in that seeming simple statement, in passing, they refer few points here. In passing, this is the style of a typical master's teaching. There are two groups of people teach. One is a teacher teaching, another one is a master teaching. And these masters, they speak. They put across the ideas in a very casual form, innocuously. They'll just throw that and move. Now here, if you read this carefully, even if a very wicked person worships me with unswerving devotion. Now the question we have to ask is, contradiction, no? A person with unswerving devotion cannot be wicked. Now he is not saying just devotion. See, he is putting it with a ananya bhag. Like earlier he mentioned, no, ananyas chintayanto ma bhedjara paryupasate. That sort of ananya chinta, unswerving devotion. No other thought. When a man is not having any other thought than devotion, how can he be wicked? But he says, even if a wicked person worships me with unswerving devotion. Now, 90% of people will skip that unswerving. They'll say, even if a wicked person worships me, he too will be considered as a, righteous person only. Now, here we ask this question, okay, regarded by whom? Who's going to call you righteous? Who is going to say you are a very righteous person? Who is there? That's why remember, who is calling you intelligent is very important. That's why elsewhere in the Gita he says, the sages call him a man of perfection. Now, who calls you perfect is very important. Who is calling you good is very important, and who is calling you bad is also very important. Now, we have very wrong, concept. It says, he too shall be regarded. Regarded by whom? Understood is regarded by me. Look at that, subtle, sort of arrogance. I mentioned it several times. Whenever we have this sort of a statements, pause. Think. Otherwise, you will miss the whole point. These verses are very important. The subsequent verses are very, very important because there are a lot of wrong concepts have been developed out of this. Very wrong ideas have come in without understanding the context. To whom he is speaking. What is the general context? The general context all of us know. Arjuna is standing in the battlefield and there is a Kurukshetra war is about to start. He collapsed and Krishna is speaking something to motivate him to fight. This is the very general idea. See, but more than the general one, what is when you are studying a textbook, we need to go into what is the sequence of thoughts. In this context, when he is saying that, what is the meaning of it? Right here, that's why it's very important to recognize this thing as even a very wicked person. That also he puts it as this one. It's a very interesting coinage here. For him, it is a very innocuous statement. For us, every word is superb here. Why he is prefixing su? Durachara is a wicked person. Why he is adding that prefix? Right. Su is usually used to refer in a superlative term. There they use this su as a prefix. Now here he is referring to a negative one. So what is understood here? Superlative negative. Sudurachara. Very wicked person. That's why he puts it as very wicked. What is that? Very wicked is Sudurachara. The person who is having this wickedness. And then a very wicked person worships me with unswerving devotion. And then here, he starts the whole thing with api chet. Api, even. Chet, if. Even if. Now, what is the meaning? Even if means what? Even if it is the case, understood as what? It is just a supposition. It is not a proposal, please. It's not a possibility. It's not going to happen. So here we study it in different layers. As I said, all these texts, this Gita, Shastras, any Shastra you take, is all in poetic form, means there are layers of studying it. Depending upon our freedom, depending upon our capacity to penetrate, we penetrate to that extent and understand it. This is how we study. Now, one we take this. First, let me give a simple one. And then we can start complicating it, as usual style of us. Let's see, what is the simple idea? What is this? Even if a very wicked person, meaning a wicked person cannot be having unswerving devotion. Not possible. Or the other way around. The one who is having unswerving devotion may appear to be performing certain wicked actions. Still, he has to be considered. Now, which is correct? Both are there. That is why it is just a supposition. So he says, a very wicked person. Wickedness means, one way of taking wickedness is performing this vicious deeds. And the Smritis are giving a list of, exhaustive list they give, in terms of what all the vicious actions that you can perform, which is classified as Nishiddha Karma, Vihita Karma. These are actions which are prohibited actions. Like killing, stealing, drinking, so many lists they give, right? And then there you have certain common one for everyone, and then particular one, right? Like we also have the rules. No one could, enter into one way. The moment you see a symbol one way, no vehicle can go inside. But there is an exception. What? Ambulance can go in. Ambulance is allowed to jump the signal. Now, we have excellent one. Because ambulance is behind me, I will also jump the signal. You are supposed to just move and give way to him. You can't just, drive across. Not allowed actually. But it is interesting to see, there are exceptions. That which is not allowed for one is allowed for the other. Government is allowed to collect tax, right? An individual cannot collect tax. That's called mafia. Only fellow who had the courage to do that is this. Our Telugu hero, businessman. He levies a tax. All transactions are happening all over India. Any transaction that happens, they have to pay tax to me, he says. Very interesting. But that is not tax, please. That is called extortion. Right? Now, government is allowed. An individual cannot do that. Same way, certain things are prohibited common. Certain actions are prohibited to a group of people. These can do, those others cannot do. So all these prohibited actions, this person may be performing, he says. Now, wicked person means not just doing that, please. It also includes, wickedness includes what? Wrong actions. Wrong actions means there are certain, I don't want to go on giving examples for each one. Now, each one you have in the Puranas, empty number of examples. Right? Because every time we have to add those things means immediately we need to explain also. Right? So I'm not getting into the details of it for each one. I'll just give one example. One sample I'll give you. Right? Certain things are objectionable. Certain things are objected, not allowed. Vishwamitra fell for Menaka. Right? According to the debaters on the stage you sit and you comment, isn't it? We sit here and say what? Vishwamitra, fell for Menaka. Correct, no? Which means what? According to all of us, Vishwamitra should have told Menaka what? She comes and dances in front of him. What is he supposed to do? Give her some money and say, go. If he has done that, what all of us would have said? You are doing excellent dance. Thanks for the entertainment, which I have been lacking for all these years. Right. Thanks for the entertainment. This is the reward for you. Take it and go. He says. All of us would have said what then? Or Vishwamitra didn't even register. Or Vishwamitra didn't even pay any attention to her. He saw and quietly moved away. That behavior, all of us would have said, correct. Correct, sir. What Vishwamitra did is the right thing to do. But Vishwamitra fell for her. He also started dancing along with her. This we cannot accept. This is what is referred as objection. We have certain objections to certain contexts, certain behaviors, certain actions of people. This is what we call as wickedness, wrong thing, durachara, wrong actions. These are all wrong, sir. You should not do such things, no? Not allowed. Imagine you go for this movie and I come there and whistling, taking the coins and throwing at the screen, dancing there, and all that. Huh? Pushpa movie. You have seen this movie, Pushpa? Those who have seen that movie will understand what I'm saying. Those who have not seen the movie, first see the movie and then continue the video. Along with Samantha, if I also dance there, what you will do? Huh? You say what? Sir, Gita class now you are taking, how can you be doing like this? This is that action which will be objected by people. That is why first I said, he too shall be regarded. Regarded by whom? Answer that. Then discuss, then decode the whole thing. Otherwise, are you the standard? Who's going to do this? This is one. Then we have another way. Now, objections, is there objections just justified? Unjustified is not my point. Right? I'm not saying, what Vishwamitra did is correct or Ishwaran goes to Pushpa movie is correct. I'm saying. Right? But it is objected. The question is, who is raising that objection? And what is the basis for that objection? Based on that only you have to decide. Right? Otherwise, there is no meaning to it. This is one example. One way we understand Durachara. I'm going to use only Durachara. I'm not going to use Sudurachara. Right? This is not according to this Achara, sir. This is contrary to that, contrary to the ordained discipline. So first layer is those who are performing, those who are doing all that things which are considered as Nishidha Karma. Then Nishidha Karma has two aspects to it. For everyone and for a particular. If I am working in an IT company and then I go and dance there is no problem. But having taken this role of a person who is going to be teaching spiritual and all those things, that person is not expected to be doing certain things. Not allowed to do certain things. Objections. This one. Then we have another way of reading. All these are all various ways we have this understanding of the term wickedness. Various ways we can understand this wickedness. Another way of wickedness is what? You don't care for the pain that you are causing. You don't care about the consequences of your actions, how it is impacting others. What he calls as pramada, heedless. This unmindful actions, careless actions, indifferent actions. That is wrong. Not do this, it is such a wrong thing to be doing there. I'm only explaining what is the Nishidha Karma, because if you go to the scriptures, they give the list. If you take that list, almost about 99.99999% our actions will be fitting into that only. Right? So I'm not taking the list there. I'm just giving you a few ideas. Now you can go back and look into your own actions. What is going on? You say. Now, Sudurachara may be coming because of your actions, which is not to your standard, Or you may be performing actions unmindful of the consequences. You don't care about what is the impact of my actions on others. You say words, you say things without caring what is this word, what is this tone, what is this expression, body language of mine is impacting the other. That also will be called as wicked. He's a bad, wickedness in the sense you take it as such a bad fellow. This is such a, person whom I don't like to interact with. But you can say, sir, I am doing it for the, I'm doing it. But that is not the point. The point is, according to whom? Regarded. Regarded by whom? Same way. You don't mind the others. You don't take others into account when you are saying, when you are doing action. If you see the road contract, lay the road. One evening shower is sufficient for the whole thing to go back to the same condition. 2 days rain is enough, maximum. I'm saying drizzle is enough. You don't need even a cloud burst. I'm not talking about a cloud burst. I'm talking about just this one. What is that action? What do you call that fellow? That's why one man said, for all the roads, we have to change the name now. Every road should be changed to the contractor's name. The fellow who has laid the road, no, put his name. What is it? And you go and ask that fellow, he says what? Sir, 28% I have to give as a cutting. These are all inside story. Yeah? Don't ask me how, from where you got that. 28%. And apart from that, he is running a business. For that also, he is paying tax. That is a separate one. In between, you are asking me to perform. In between, you are asking me to put this road. Now, how do you expect me to do it? Now, my point is, now, so who is wicked? Now, he is a victim or wicked fellow? The contractor says, I am a victim. Okay, then I go to the other fellow and ask him, hey, to who you paid this fellow? I go to him and ask, hey, what are you, man? He says, no, sir. With this salary, how can you live in Bangalore, sir? I have to give to my boss. To get this position, how much I paid? How will I recover that cost? So I am also a victim. Now, this is the beauty of corruption. They say. The beauty of corruption is everyone is a victim only. Nobody is a victor. Finally, all of us will land on the lap of a politician. You go and tell the politician. Politician says what? Elections you win like because of your campaign. How much we are allowed to spend? 30 lakhs. With 30 lakhs, what can you do? Yes. One meeting, if I have to call, I have to bring this many fellows for the meeting. Transportation. Apart from that, they have to lose 1 day and come. They say, now government is giving 150 days. Now, why will I lose that and come and sit here, man? I will take that money and enjoy. Right? Why should I come? He says. So for everyone, I have to pay X amount of money and then I have to give him some food. I have to arrange for their transportation. One meeting is costing us 50 lakhs. And these people say election total expense itself should be this much. Apart from all that, we have to give money for these people to cast the vote. To me. Okay, understood. Hmm? Now he also plays what? Victim role only. Right. Now everyone is this, but what is interesting is this is the meaning of unmindful. You see, you don't even understand what you are doing. Whether you feel you are a victim, you don't understand. When others were to be calling you a villain, you don't understand. Now we call the contractor a villain. We are a victim, he's a villain. Now he doesn't feel that. He feels he is actually a victim. He says, you people are much better, sir, he says. Like a salaried fellow feels businessman's life is superb. Businessman feels salaried person life is better. Right. Now, both of them feel what? I am a victim, you are a victor. I am a victim, I am a victim, I am a victim, victim. Now, victim attitude is going to be resulting in what sort of actions? That is what he says, durachara. Now, when this mind, from where this whole thing comes, sir, now philosophy starts. All this is smriti. Okay. These are all, this is one layer of analysis. Smriti analysis. Now we go to philosophy. From here, we start asking this question. You question the very basis here. How do you question the very basis? From where, anywhere you can start your analysis. Essentially, we call certain actions, certain people as good, certain people as bad. There are good people according to you, and there are bad people according to you. Or a little mature person will say, a little cunning way of putting it across. When I say mature, what I don't mean real maturity. I mean little intellectualization is, sir, the whole person is not bad, sir. That action is bad. What he did, that is wrong. You see, only that portion is wrong. Only that is wrong in him. Otherwise, everything is perfect. But your transactions, your image of that person is not the other. Your image of that person is what? That one, no. Isn't it? The road contractor, you don't see the road contractor as a whole being. You see him as what? Only with reference to that particular angle in which you are going to relate to him. Our relationship with the road contractor is, he is the one who has laid the road on which I have to take my car, for which I have slogged for 10 years to earn, or I have to work for another 10 years to pay the loan. Either ways, either in the past I have worked, earned that money, collected that money, and now I have invested and got the car, or I get the car now and then pay installment for another 5 years or 9 years, which is a strain for me. I'm doing it. But when you say I'm going to be relating to that contractor, from where you are going to start? This is where Vedanta begins. Philosophy begins from this point. Yes. This idea of the concept of a good person and a bad person is based on the action. Because I am having internally in me, I have an idea of right and wrong. I have a concept. I have an idea. Whatever it is. I have certain ideas as right, wrong. And the moment I have this idea of right and wrong, then comes the whole problem. Now, you cannot immediately say there is no right and wrong in life, sir. If there is no right and wrong in life, then you should not have any problem seeing Ishwaran dancing in Pushpa movie. Then you should say what? No, nothing wrong. Sir, according to terrorist, his action is correct. No. You should say what then? There's no right and wrong, man. If you take that stand, then what are you supposed to do? See, he believes in that, he is doing it. I believe in that, I do it. So this now, then you get into confusion, you see. That is why in the discussions we never give these extreme examples, because it will hit you so hard. See, we are giving soft examples, soft ones. Now, what is your problem? We ask. You cannot do that. Each one of us, remember, don't ever get into this weird concept of there is no such thing called right and wrong in life. There is a clear demarcation of what is right and what is wrong, according to every one of us. The only difference is what I call as right, what I call as wrong may be different from what you call as right and what you call as wrong. But there is no such thing called no right and wrong. Every one of us will have this concept. That is where the whole problem, philosophical problem, starts. That's what one man said, scientist. Relativity, theory of relativity is more philosophic in nature than science, he says. I said, correct. It seems to be, he says. Same way, now when you are studying this idea, each one of us have a concept of right and wrong. When I have that concept of right and wrong, based on that concept only, I am going to see others, the whole world. So the moment I see someone doing something which I believe as wrong actions, when someone is performing that action, I'm going to term him as what? Bad. I have certain idea of right. What is my idea of right? Krishna says, no, even if a very wicked person worships me with unswerving devotion. Very simple. Even if you are such a wicked person, if you are attending my class regularly, you too shall be regarded as righteous by me. Correct? Huh? Isn't it? And all those people who watch my video, press a like button. Unswerving devotion means what? Whether you are hearing or not, listening or not is not the point. The point is you listen, you watch the video, press a like button and subscribe and share. Now that's also added now. First they said like. Then they said what you have to do is subscribe. How many times you can subscribe? Only once you can subscribe, no? Right. Then there's no unswerving devotion law there. Unswerving devotion means what? All my videos, when you watch, what are you supposed to do? You too shall be regarded as righteous. For you have rightly resolved. You have done the right thing. What? You have liked. You have commented. Of course, all comments have to be good only. Okay? Understood. Why? Because you have unswerving devotion. No. How can you have a wrong comment on me? This is how we will read the verse. Essentially, the way I will interpret the verse is, apart from what I'm talking, all that, essentially this is how I will consider. If a person were to be doing that, let's say, every video of mine, they watch, comment, like, share, all that they are doing. If a person were to be doing that, what will I do? How I will see him or see her? As righteous, correct. That's what you are supposed to do, isn't it? That is why we ask this question, regarded by whom? Now, I do have an idea. Don't ever come to this conclusion that there is no such thing as right and wrong. Every one of us have a concept. In every dimension of life, we have a concept. What is a right husband? There is a concept. According to me, what is a right wife? Who is a good wife? Who is a good husband? Who is a bad, who is a good son? Who is a good citizen? Who is a good leader? Who is a good businessman? Each one of us have a concept for every one of this in life. Every facet we have. The moment you have that in you, after that everything is automatic. After that, you cannot escape judging the others. The moment you see someone performing an action, immediately those actions will be evaluated based on this. I have this idea on one hand. I see you acting on the other hand. Automatically, playing scale will start. The scaling will happen, judging will happen. You can't escape from that. This is where Vedanta comes and poses a fascinating question. Yes, the concept of right and wrong, good and bad, is it to be treated based on action alone? Can action be the criteria for that? Don't give answer to this, because next question you will be finished. And good that you are not here today, live. Those who used to come for the classes, can escape today. And good that we are not there. Otherwise, this fellow would have stopped the class and said, okay, now give me the answer. Right? Is it action? I'm sure every one of you would have given the answer. What? No, sir. It is not in the action. If it is not in the action, right and wrong is not in the action. And we have a lot of examples for that. Lot of things. Classic Philosophers Dilemma. Right? No one should lie. Correct. You should not lie. Agreed? Agreed. Then Philosopher's Dilemma they bring in. One girl comes running, torn clothes, and she is being chased by 4 gundas, she says, and she goes and hides in the room. After 3 minutes, 4 gundas come. They ask me, you see a girl of this description? What am I supposed to do now? This classic, the actual scene, this classic, of Les Miserables, Victor Hugo, that play, Les Miserables. There's a lady nurse in the town. The hero, John Valjean, has to escape from the police for some reason. Okay, now I don't go into the whole details of it. He's a hero and he's a very genuine person for a higher cause. For some good, thing he is escaping from the police. Not that he doesn't want to, he had to finish a job. He says, let me complete it and then surrender. That was a plan of his. That's what he does also. Finally, he says, I have to finish it. I'll finish and then surrender. So he goes and hides in this lady's house. And the police inspector is searching every house. And the inspector comes and knocks at the door of this lady. She opens the door and he asks, did John come here? Did you see him? She says, no. I've not seen him, he's not here. And that inspector tells her, I know that you have a reputation of not lying, always speaking the truth. Therefore, I'm not going to be barging into your house and searching. All other houses, whether they say yes or no, he doesn't care. He goes and searches every nook and corner. In her house, he's not searching. And he goes back. And this lady comes and she starts weeping. In front of Christ. She kneels down and she starts weeping. I have lied. I have lied. Which this man says, all the truth that you had spoken is insignificant in comparison to the lie that you had spoken today. Fascinating statement. All the truth is insignificant in comparison to the lie. Now, which is what? If you take action, it's a lie, no? Now, what am I to tell these four gundas? Yeah, she's in the room. Or am I to say, no one has come, man. I'm teaching, I'm taking Bhagavad Gita class, don't disturb, go. Am I to say this? If I say that, I am lying, actually. Now the dilemma comes, right? On what basis? We say it is not in the actions. If it is not in the action, then where is it? Now, where is it? We will see next. What is the implication? This is where even a very wicked person, the clue comes from there, actually. And the clue here is for he has rightly resolved. That's where we have a clue in the verse. If you don't see that, you will miss the whole point. Because of the clue only, we are analyzing all these things. What is the meaning of that? What is that he has rightly been resolved? Because we know for sure, the person who is wicked cannot have unswerving devotion. A clear contradiction. You say, what is this? He says, if it is not in the action, implication is it cannot be in the actor also. Isn't it? If sin, bad, wickedness is not in the action, means it is not in the actor. It cannot be there. Then where is it? It is, if it is not in the action, it is in your understanding of what is right and what is wrong. That is where it lies. Now I am coming to how we arrive at it. I just said it is not in the actor. How? You go one step back. You say, sir, if it is not in the action, then where it has to be? It has to be something behind the action, isn't it? Then what is behind the action? It is the understanding of right and wrong. So where is sin? Sin lies in the understanding of right and wrong. On what basis you have arrived at that understanding of right and wrong? From where you got that right and wrong understanding? I suppose you're all with me. Right? It's not a complex one. It's a very simple idea only. Right? If it is not in the action, then it has to be somewhere else. Then where is that? That is in this understanding of what is right and what is wrong. What is the right understanding and what is the wrong understanding is the question now. What is that? It is that understanding of who is the person performing the action. Actor. Who is doing that? That is the question. From where? What is right understanding? What is wrong understanding? The wrong understanding is called sin. The one who has the wrong understanding is a wicked person. You're all with me. Up to this point. Is clear, no? It is not in the action, sir. It is in the, what is intention? What is understanding? Intention, we say. In intention, intention means understanding. Understanding means what? I have a concept of right and I have a concept of wrong. Then we ask this question, what is the right understanding? And what is the wrong understanding? The right understanding, or rather the wrong understanding, is to consider myself as an individual is the wrong understanding. The right understanding is what? I am essentially divine. This is the right understanding. Now, our problem is we essentially consider ourselves to be the little self. Right? The moment I consider myself as a little self, then I have no choice but to see everyone around me also as little self. Individual egos. The ego, I'm not talking arrogance here, okay? Here, ego means the sense of individuality. That is what is referred as ego here. So, a person who has the understanding that I am essentially divine has the right understanding. I am essentially this individual, little self, is the one who is having this wrong understanding. So the sin is not in action, sin is in the intention. What is the intention? Understanding. What is understanding? Little self. Sin is in the belief that I am that individual self. Then comes out of that understanding, since I believe myself to be the little self, automatically actions will spring out of that. For what? To protect the little self. Now, to protect my little self, I perform actions. And those actions will naturally lead to agitations. Right? Now, I get agitated. How am I to get rid of that agitations? We have a wrong idea. What is it? If I do some good actions, I can get rid of my agitations. So I start performing some good actions. Right? Vedanta says it will not work. It doesn't work. Now don't get angry with me, he says. Upanishad says, don't get angry with me. That's what the law is. We say Vedanta is what, sir? Vedanta is laws of life. What is the law of life? Tena tyaktena bujjida is the law of life. may you enjoy through renunciation. That's the only way. There is no other way. That is a law of life. Is a law of life, law of life. Vedanta means laws of life. What is law? That belief as a little self, I will always feel that I need to protect myself. I had to preserve my little self. Now, had to protect obviously means there is an attack. Who is going to attack? Anything and everything other than me has a potential to attack. Right? So I have to protect myself. I have to preserve myself. For self-preservation, for that self-protection, I have to perform actions. And those actions will always be in conflict, agitation. Why? Because I'm constantly fighting, isn't it? Self-protection means what? Protection means I have to fight. Fighting cannot be done like how MGR does fighting. That is not possible. You see, you can't be smiling and fighting. That it doesn't work. You have to bring that anger in you. Otherwise, you can't fight. You have to manufacture it. Those who have, fought will understand that. Even in sport, boxing is supposed to be a sport. But we find always these two people will come for a media. When they come and sit there, they have to fight. Now, how can you fight? You have to protect. You have to protect your welfare. I have to have the self-preservation. Means I have to fight. I have to fight always with whom? With the whole world. So the whole thing is going to be what? Full of agitation, strain, painful. Whole process is painful. And that pain, that leads to that agitation. So what do I do? To get rid of that agitation with me, I start engaging in so-called good actions. Certain good actions, if I do, I can subside my agitation is what I believe. That's where I get into this unselfish actions, social work. It will not. Why? Because you have not touched the essential part of it. What is the essential part here? Essentially, you have a wrong idea. Now come to the verse. For he has rightly resolved, means for he has rightly understood that I am having this wrong belief, wrong notion that I am the little self, when I am essentially the divine being. But right now, what sort of actions I have been performing, what I have been doing, all those actions stemming from this is all wicked actions. It's all wickedness only. There is no good you can actually do to the world. If at all you want to do something good to the world, what is the first thing you have to do? Realize your essential nature. Be divine. Get to the divinity. Get on to this idea of self-realization. When you do that, that is what is referred as unswerving devotion. You see that? Now all the dots gets connected. Wicked, unswerving devotion, regarded, and rightly resolved. Regarded by whom is where we have taken a leap today. Now you can start the analysis from the wicked. You can start the analysis from rightly resolved. You can start the analysis from unswerving devotion. You can start your thinking from anywhere. The final conclusion has to be connecting all that. Now you can't leave any one of these points. All these four ideas needs to be connected. All the dots needs to be connected. When you connect the dots, what is the understanding we get? Sin is not in action, correct? Which means in the intention. What is the intention? Which intention is right intention? All these days, the whole world may be calling you as a wicked person. Don't worry about that part. You have to be focusing in terms of who is going to be calling you a wicked and who is going to call you as a good. I will call you as a devotee. According to me, the whole world may not call you, but I will call you, for you have rightly resolved. What? For you have rightly developed that intention for the sake of self-realization. If evolution is your intention, it is right. If evolution is not the intention, that's called wicked. So now we come to wickedness. Who is a wicked person, sir? According to this definition, all of us will be falling into the category of wicked people only. Yeah. Do you go to temple for evolution? So all the way from here to Tirupati you go. For what you go to Tirupati? Is it for your evolution? Is it for the sake of realization? If it is for the sake of realization, if you are doing it for the sake of evolution, if your intention is for that, for rightly you have resolved, you will be considered me as not a wicked person. You will not be treated as a wicked person anymore. Why? Because you have understood the right way. Otherwise, it is just a simple statement. Even if a very wicked person, even if maybe, meaning the whole world may be considering you to be a wicked person. The whole world may say, Vishwamitra is faltered. He has fallen. But the sages will praise him as a Brahma Rishi. He will be called as Brahma Rishi. You may say, yeah, he has fallen. Who cares for your certificate? That is important, isn't it? Who is calling you intelligent is important? No. Who is saying you are very knowledgeable is important. Similarly, who is going to call you good? Whose certificate you want? It is so interesting in our life, you see. I will want certificate from people who I treat as low. So interesting. According to me, they are all low. They are all bad people. They are all useless. They are all ignorant. They are dumb. They don't have any knowledge, no understanding, nothing they have, according to me. But I will be wanting these people to be calling me as good. According to me, you are all dumb. But if you call me very intelligent, sir, today's class was extraordinary. Superb analysis. All the videos of yours, this is the best video. Who is going to call you? There are 400, 500 people following you. Who is that 500 following is important. Isn't it? Following is there, correct. Who is that? Remember, who is going to be calling you? Krishna says, don't worry about the other fellow, man. I call you. Now we have to decide whether we are interested in his certificate or we are interested in the other certificate. Krishna in the sense, don't take it, personality Krishna, please. It is those masters, those evolved people will call you, will regard you as righteous. For you have rightly resolved, meaning you have taken a right direction. What is the right goal? Two things are the right goal. Either you take the goal of realization or you take to the path to realization. If you cannot understand the goal of realization, take to the path of evolution at least. The moment you have taken the path of evolution, the moment you say that I am doing all these things for this. So what is wickedness? And it is so interesting here. Wickedness, according to this definition, wickedness means running behind the world. And what is interesting is this Vedantic teaching to be given to whom? So this man says, all philosophers and Vedantists, this, all you guys, what you guys do is you convince the convinced. Your whole knowledge, your whole argument is convincing to the convinced already. Like one fellow came and spoke, you were speaking to me as you know, for 15 minutes he was talking to me how great Swamiji is. Oh, is that how? I said, look here, there's no need for you to sell Swamiji to me because I'm already sold out. Right? Long before you, I'm sold out. Now, no point in coming to me and selling him. He said, no, what is this? You're talking like this. I said, well, there's no meaning in that, you see. Now, who needs the spiritual teaching is not the person who is spiritual. The one who is worldly is the one who needs the teaching. There, Krishna proves he is a master, he is a teacher. He is a real guru, we say. Rightly, he has been called as Jagat Guru. The first person to get the title. Always, you know, the first one to reach is a class apart, isn't it? Like Edmund Hillary, the first one to climb the Mount Everest. After that, there are thousands of people who have climbed. But even today, he says, who is the first one, sir? He's the first one to climb. The first person to go. Similarly, the first person to get the title Jagat Guru is Krishna. Rightly is being given. Why? It says the teaching is to be given to those people only. The question is what? The question is, are you rightly resolved? You have just the decision taken. The rightly resolved means what? You have got the right understanding. That's all it means. Your understanding is that. But all that you have been doing in life, all that you have been functioning so far, all that has been only in the direction of the world, doesn't matter. He says, the fact that you are willing to shift the direction, you too shall be regarded as righteous. What a promising statement. What a motivation. Fascinating, you know, this is real inspiration for your rightly resolved. Now, where we are, no understanding itself. Why? Because we don't fall into wickedness, we don't fall into goodness also. We are neither good nor bad. Why? Trishanku. The whole world is, you know, Trishanku, hanging in between, upside down. You know the story, no? Trishanku. The king who wanted to go to heaven, you know, with the body. Hey, I have to go there. Vasishtha said, get lost. Then he went to Vishwamitra. Vishwamitra said, don't worry, man, I will send you. And he gave a special permission. He went right up to the gates of heaven. Indra gave one kick. There, the fellow fell from there. And Vishwamitra created a parallel heaven for Trishanku. All these people said, "Why? What are you doing? Why wasting your energy on this stupid fellow?" Then he realized, yeah, correct. Why should I waste my things on this guy? Forget it, and he left. And since then, this guy is hanging there in between. He is neither has come to earth nor he is in heaven, in between. Trishanku Surga, they call it as. What is the nature of Trishanku Surga? Upside down. What are we? Our problem is Krishna is going to call all of us as rightly resolved and all that, righteous. He's not going to call righteous. Why? Because we believe in world, parallelly we believe in God. You believe in world for certain things, you believe in God for certain things. And we say, for these things I go to him, for those things I go to him. You see, you can't be serving two masters, says Ramatirtha. Rightly resolved, for I am that. Ramatirtha gives a beautiful example of a Sufi saint. Says, the Sufi master went to a village and started crying. Says, bring the best clothes that you have, for God is waiting. Bring the best shoes that you have, for God is waiting. Bring the best food that you have, God is waiting. And all those people got so excited and they brought all that. They said, where is God? Where is God? Where is God? Where is God? A fellow brought one shoes, best shoe. This is the best shoe that we have in the entire village. This is the best one we have. And the Sufi master showed his feet. This is the feet. Put it. A best of clothes. Give it to me. Put it on. God is waiting. Put it on. Bring the best of goodies. Yes. I like that story a lot. Therefore, I am God. And the villagers got so angry with him. I crucified him to death. It's a very painful process of death. Yeah. They place him with a pointed, needle, stick. Yeah. You place the body on top. And slowly, because of the gravitation, the weight, the body will be pulled down. And it is a slow death and a painful death. As he was going through that, he was still making the same statement. I am the divinity. I am God. I am God. Now, where is your belief? This is Vedanta says. Amurtasya putra says the Upanishads. You are the descendants of immortal beings. Immortality is your real nature. That is what your real nature is. The problem is you see people, the danger here is, you may say, sir, what is wrong in having this right and wrong and all that? The moment you see, you have this concept of right, wrong, good, bad and all that, the whole world that you see, you're going to bracket people only as good people, bad people, good people, bad people, good people, good, bad people. You will never say he is a divine person. You cannot put them in the third category of divine. Even the so-called divine people also should be performing good actions according to us. Isn't it? Have you ever classified anyone as a divine personality? Divinity personified? If at all you claim someone to be divinity personified, that also has to be, he also should be doing things according to you as good things. More good, you are going to call them as divine. That's why, we had this term, God-man. God-man, sir. And today even Godman is a dangerous word to be used now. So Godman nale you look, what's wrong? This is our propaganda. Okay, it is your misunderstanding of the whole concept here is this wickedness means running behind the world. And the entire teaching is supposed to be given to those people who are running behind the world. Only they need to be brought back. Only they have to be taken a U-turn and coming back to God. So he says, all these days you may be living a life of what? Believing in your sense of individuality, believing in the reality of the world, believing that the world is going to give you that sense of security. You may believe in that. That is why you run behind the world. Otherwise, why are you running behind the world? You may be running there. Says, this whole thing you take a U-turn. Since you have resolved to take a U-turn, you have not yet taken the U-turn. That is not what he says. Follow that carefully. Since you have rightly resolved to take a U-turn, you will be considered as righteous not by the world. World will never consider you as righteous because the world's concept of righteousness is not a reliable concept. Because it keeps changing, it keeps varying. Because the world is going to be judging you based on their idea and your action. Both are so changing. Both are so volatile. So flimsy grounds. The grounds that they have is so flimsy. They're about 150 years back, 200 years back. It is normal, it is nothing wrong in considering one set of people, one group of people born to be slaves. Isn't it? For them. At that point of time, that is correct. Today, we say that is wrong. Now, whatever we are keeping today, down the line 200 years, what they are going to say? How can you have? Why is it that one fellow came, asks? Why is it that in the ashram when you people are doing this, yoga or the chanting, Gayatri chanting, all that we do prayers. We have the no decisions or anything. All boys will be standing, all girls will be standing. One fellow, how can you do that? After some time down the line, all of us have to be hugging and standing, you will say. Today for us, that's not accepted, no. For those people, one group of people said, sir, boy standing separate, girl standing separate is wrong. Then what are you supposed to do? Stand mixed, allowed, huh? Now you say, correct. Now it is all equal. After that, what is going to happen? Down the line, why are they standing like that? They can hold hand and stand, no? Why holding hand, hugging each other and standing also allowed? Now, today for all of us, that is wrong. This is okay, but dadala tapusa. That you should not do. Like about 50 years back, 60, 50 is not too much also maybe. 50 years back, 25, 30 years back and all, if you see, those who want to smoke will be hiding behind the tree and smoking. You see? The moment they see anyone coming in that street corner, known person, some neighbor, neighbor uncle comes, the fellow will throw the cigarette and stand. Today, father and son both are sharing the cigarette. Allowed? No. Isn't it? See, today we consider this as, and I don't want to give the example of the other examples. Right? What we consider today, remember, will be treated as correct by another generation. What we treat as wrong is called by the what was our grandfathers and grandparents were calling as wrong is treated as correct by us today. Means what we are calling as wrong today is going to be called by our grandchildren as correct. Now, who is standard now? Grandfather, me, grandson. Who is correct now? See how vulnerable it is. There is no consistency in that. Why there is no consistency? Is not there because it is going to be changing. You cannot do anything about it. And what is the foundation for all this? Foundation is only convenience. For those people at that point of time, that was convenient. Today for us, this is convenient. Tomorrow for someone else, something else is going to be convenient. If convenience is what is going to be the thing, Russell proves it. All matter of morality is a matter of convenience. He says, he proves. It's just a matter of convenience. That's about it. That's what Vivekananda is. Why I should not steal, man? What is wrong in stealing? Convenience only, no? Imagine stealing is allowed. Imagine anybody can put their hands in anybody's pocket and take that money out. Anybody can use anybody's credit card. What will be the case? Problem. So I have to protect my credit card. From how many? I have to protect my credit card with, how many are there now? 41 are there. -2. 39 are there. No, not -2, -1. I can't include her also in that. Okay, -1. 40 people. 1 versus 40. 1 versus 40 is going to be the fight. Is there a chance of me winning? Mark, it is not only for Ishwaran, that's the case. For every one of us, it is the same proportion. What? 1:40, 1:40, 1:40, 1:40. And none of us can win. All of us will be dead by then. Therefore, what is agreement we all come to? Look here, I will not put my hand in your pocket. You also should not put hand in my pocket. Okay? If you want to ask me, if I feel like giving, I'll give. How much I will decide and give. But you should not be putting your hands into my pocket and taking money. Therefore, it is, what is it? Convenience. Convenience for what? Convenience to protect myself. Now, Vedanta goes one step back and argues, says, what are you protecting? From where the need for security comes, from where the need for protection comes. Because essentially, I feel that insecurity. And that insecurity is not coming from you are lacking things, you are missing this and all that. Your insecurity is stemming from where? The fact that you believe yourself to be the individual. And so long as you believe yourself to be that isolated little self, the little individual, you will always have that agitation. Sin is what? Anything that produces agitation is sin. This idea produces agitation. Therefore, you are a wicked person. Very wicked person means what? Highly agitated. Highly agitated means what? Highly having this belief that I am this individual. There is no doubt about it. Solid ego. Solidified. It is so solid. Means that much of agitation I have. Even if you have that much of agitation, no problems, man. If you have decided to take a U-turn, you will be regarded as righteous. See you in the next class. Thank you.